Hey there, so today we have another review. This is pumpkin season, so sort of in the middle of October right now, and Schlafly is quite possibly one of the best, if not the best, pumpkin beers that I actually get in my market. Unfortunately, we don't get Stevens Point Whole Hog, and then for some reason, we don't even get Cigar City Good Gourd, which is actually out of Cigar City about like an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours away from me. They've decided like recently, or the last couple of years, to just make it tap room only. What a shame. I don't know if like, hey, pumpkin beer has to sell in Florida, and like, wouldn't you want Cigar City to be in that market instead of like big brands like Shipyard and Pumpkin and blah 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 like that? But who knows? I was thinking this guy. I always try to review this beer. Beer comes in a really nice kind of brownish color, has a deep amber hue to it, deep amber with a little bit of brown to it. Wonderful tan head, really nice. I just recently had was it Elysian Night Owl? Yeah, Night Owl. I think that won GABF Gold last year. And that beer has a little bit sharper ginger note, so it's like nice to have a little bit of comparison. It's always fun to have a little bit more, some like multiple pumpkin beers, because what tends to happen is it's really fun to sort of dissect what specific spices are really dominant and where their balance shows on those beers, right? This one has a nice malty sweetness to it, a little bit of caramel, a little bit of a Tootsie Roll kind of thing going on, a little bit of like a toffee, a little bit of brown sugar, so maybe not as deep as toffee. A little bit like this kind of like a, oh yeah, the thing that I could think of is coffee crumb cake, right? That like crumbly brown sugar cinnamon, like sugar thing, crunchy, yeah, like that's what it's called, right? Coffee cake, right? Yeah, it's just crumbly cinnamony sugar thing going on. Underneath, you get a little bit of ginger, cinnamon, nutmeg. Cheers. This beer's actually pretty big, by the way. It's really nice to get a beer that, first of all, it doesn't drink like 8%. It really is a little bit smaller. I would guess this beer was like 6.57 instead of 8. But I like the beers at 8%. I think, again, when you're talking about a pie is one of the well, not most, but like it is a relatively decadent dessert. So like, what are you gonna do? Make a 4% beer that's gonna taste like a dessert? Like it's just like these things don't tend to make sense, right? There's a reason why like dessert pastry stouts are 9 plus 10 plus 10%. Like here, you notice that the beer has a really nice kind of like creamy, silky, smooth mouthfeel. The base beer seems like it'd be like a nutty brown ale, like a nutty imperial brown ale, without any roast to it, right? So just really nutty for days. This beer shows a ton of nuttiness. It has this like really kind of like delicious like walnut pecan lingering. It almost has this sorry, like nut cookie kind of thing going on. If you can make like just loads of nuts in a cookie, that kind of thing going on. A little bit of brown sugar, definitely some of that ginger, light allspice, and cinnamon characteristics, right? Yeah, it's really quite tasty. Not overly dominant on spice. Yeah, a little bit. You get just a hint of the alcohol, and yeah, it's a really nice kind of like nutty beer. The malt also shows as this kind of like, again, I was going nutty cookie on the malt flavor, but also you get this kind of like follows with that like nose. It's like that coffee cake thing, like some of these like kind of like Entenmann's desserts, kind of just like a crumbly pastry desserty thing that has like brown sugar, cinnamon, crunchy brown sugar, like crunchy sugariness going on. A little bit of this kind of like cinnamon bun kind of thing, cinnabon. That's actually a lot of that. So all these, there's a thing about cinnabon's a big one. This kind of like sticky cinnamony thing, but then just add a bunch of like brown sugar on it to make it really nice and crunchy. I don't know why the beer it just tastes crunchy to me, but it sort of does, because I think it's that kind of brown sugar crumble kind of thing. It just reminds, like, obviously this is straight liquid, but for some reason my brain goes to like this crunchy feeling of a dessert, right? I feel like a cinnamon would just only partially replicate what this beer sort of does, but obviously it also is trying to be pumpkin pie, not just like it's actually trying to be pumpkin pie, not trying to be a cinnabon, not trying to be coffee cake. Yeah, that's darn good. This won't like blow your socks off. Like, it was not super explosive, but then again, it probably will. Come think of it, because like In general, I find pumpkin beers quite watery. Don't have a really delicious base beer. They just seem like spiced water a lot of times, or spiced beer. Whereas this sort of like pushes towards like dessert flavors, right? Because it has the base beer that has a robust quality at 8%, and then has that mouthfeel and the spicing and blah 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 blah. So yeah, it probably should ideally blow your pants off, because it really has a lot more layers and impact and depth and length of character on the palate compared to a lot of other pumpkin beers. Solid beer, very delicious. 90. It's hard to get better than this with pumpkin beer. Let's go with the solid 93. Absolutely delicious. Highly recommend. Schlafly. Cheers. Let's go bump that up to 94. 94. Cheers later.